We are live. Let's go.
Fuck police.
Oh man. Hold on, where's my intro? Where's the intro?
Focus Up Show every Saturday, 9 a.m.
Tap in or tap out.
Top of the morning. Let's go. We got some topics for you today that we're gonna address. We're gonna speak on this Tyre Nichols and the Memphis PD, and we're gonna speak on some other topics, Operation Nightingale and the news. Let's go. How you doing, Mrs. First Lady? How you doing this morning, sister?
I'm good. I'm great.
Okay.
I hope everyone else is great as well.
All right. Miss Tamara Hall, Miss Tamara Brown, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right. Mr. El Pooh.
Yes, sir.
Did you survive Friday Night Live last night, brother?
I think I'm here. I'm not sure, but I think I'm here.
Yes, sir. Mr. Walk, how you doing this morning, brother?
I'm great, ready to run through a brick wall. Friday Night Live was live last night. I made it, but that's from drinking that good stuff. So yeah.
I think that was shots fired at Mr. Nice.
I know. Wait a second. Running through a brick wall. What you trying to say?
What are you talking about?
He got a brick wall behind him.
Yeah. I didn't mean it like that, but yeah. Let's go.
How you doing, Mr. Nice Guy? How you
I don't know,
today?
man. I don't know now. Now I'm thinking. I'm feeling some kind of way.
Okay. So what y'all want to do? Y'all want to go in the news first, or y'all want to jump straight to the main course? What y'all want to do?
Man, we know what the main course is, brother. We got a lot of stuff in the news, but man, this story right now with behind me, you feel me? This is so touching and so moving. I was totally, my heart just dropped. It just fell to the floor when I watched it. Like, I hope I don't tear up on the show. Last night on the Friday Night Live show, I had to take a break a few times because I started to tear up because this is very personal. And I'm going to be honest, this is the most disgusting video I've seen. But guess what? Them 5 black cops are not the new face of police brutality. I'm not going to let them do that. No. Let's go.
All right. What's your take on it? Who want to speak on it? Mr. Nice Guy? What's your take on this thing, man?
Okay. First of all, rest in peace to, that dude, his, condolences to his family, to, it's a terrible thing that happened. We know that they went above and beyond what they were supposed to do, evidenced by the fact that they got fired and immediately charged, with murder charges and a whole bunch of things.
Them charges really don't mean shit because the police do what they want, brother. So
I think put it this way, I think it means to somebody who loses their job and faces, the chances of going to jail for murder, especially being a cop. Being a cop and in jail, it's a different type of situation. So, it is a bad situation. I will say this, Walk's right. We really don't want these black people to become the face of police brutality, but we also got to understand and acknowledge that it was never about the color of the police. It's about the police, about police activity, how they do. We always know that, some of them black faces be as worse as anybody. So, I mean, it's a sad thing. I don't want to dominate the discussion because I'm going to have a turn on this situation, and I don't want to start off with that. But that's basically where I'm at. It's a shame, but at least props to the commissioner, the black female commissioner. They got on top of this pretty quickly.
Let me read the charges. They got all 5 former officers were charged with 2nd-degree murder, 2 counts of official misconduct, 2 counts of aggravated kidnap, 1 count of official oppression, and 1 count of aggravated assault. So those are some pretty hefty charges, in my opinion. And, I hope that they get the full extent. I know the murder carried between, 20 to 60 years in jail. So hopefully they get all those charges put on them and sent away and put under the jail. The video was very disturbing. We're not going to play it here because I'm pretty sure everybody was able to watch it. It was like a prime time event. How do y'all feel about them waiting to air it on a Friday night in an effort to deter or quell protests and things of that nature? They want to give everybody an opportunity to prepare for what's to come.
Responsible.
That was responsible.
Yeah, because the reality is, my wife, they sent her home just ahead of it to make sure that she wouldn't have any issues. I mean, not that I would think that she would, but still, I mean, it's we've seen how these things turn as far as the riots, as far as the people going out crazy. And once the crowd gets together, once they start just like there's no thought process or logical flow or anything. They're just chaotic. So they could all of a sudden they just start grabbing anybody's car, throwing bricks or whatever, and then it's a whole type of different situation. So it was responsible. They waited for most people to get home from work and get out the streets, and then they put it out there.
Okay. What's your take on it, Miss Tamara?
Well, I think we're all waiting for. There's no indication of why he was pulled over in the first place, what this was about, what was motivating. Like, they were clearly already angry from the beginning. I mean, I haven't watched it. I don't want to see it, but I've read like exactly what happens in it. They were angry, and it just makes no sense. I mean, as gruesome and brutal as it is, and as horrible as it is, it makes it worse that it's like, why did this happen in the first place? And I don't know if I haven't done too much of a deep dive, but because we hear so much about like gangs within the LA Sheriff's Department and things that have to go within the Sheriff's Department when they do like initiations and things like that. Like, my first thought was it something like that? Are there maybe gangs within this police department and that had something to do with it? Like, what?
No.
What was the cause?
No.
This was.
No, this was just 5 police caught up with their badge, that power trip, and they went overboard. For one, they pulled him over. Then they tried to arrest him for no cause. He ran. He got away. Them fat, out of shape bastards, they couldn't catch him. They was out of breath, not even up half a block. Then they was pissed. One kid gave chase, and he caught up to him. Then when the other ones came, they was just mad, out of shape, out of breath. And then they put the tips on them. They hurt him bad. They was pretty much, I feel they was just kind of embarrassed and kind of felt like, damn, I'm out of shape, and just went in on the brother and did him real bad and real dirty. They got caught up with that badge. But that's neither here nor there, in my opinion. But I'm tripping off how they are blowing this story up, which it should be. But they trying to put the new face, or they calling it the new Rodney King. This ain't the new Rodney King. The new Rodney King was that brother who got shot in the back from the police, and then he dropped the taser on the ground and called it in and said he stole my taser. The new Rodney King was the brother who got shot in the back seat of the car when he was with his wife. That's the new Rodney King. The new Rodney King was Tamir Rice. Like, come on now. Don't put these brothers, these black men, as like this is what police brutality is now. They trying to spin it. I ain't gonna let them.
You ain't gonna let them. I mean,
Nope.
they black cops. There was no white cops to show out for, but they still showed out. So black cops showing out for black cops, just whipping on them. And then when you listen to the conversation, man, my knee, I found him, and he was over there. Nah, he gonna get him. And the dude tried to empty a whole can of that pepper spray. Like, hold him. He just sprayed it on him just because the police got one on his eyebrow, so he was trying to get him back. He tried to empty that whole can on the brother, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, as far as the
feeding frenzy.
yeah. So as far as the new face of police brutality, I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, we know that police are brutal and they come in all colors. Asians, black, white, all of them have been abusing people.
Yeah.
And I think what happened, I think he kind of just panicked. See, like we was discussing this last night on the Friday Night Live show. Don't drink and drive, stay home and go live. We was discussing this last night on the show where it's some people who never came in contact with the police in any type of way. Like my baby mother has never even got a speeding ticket. She has never come into the contact with the police to get those pretty bracelets on her hands. Nothing, never. So sometimes people who never have, they really feel they got some kind of rights when it comes to the police. They're like, oh my God, what are you harassing me for? What are you? And they panic. See, it's easy to say, well, why didn't he just relax? Why he just didn't capitulate to the police officers? It's easy to say that when you have not been a person subjected to that type of talk. I have been in contact with the police on numerous occasions. So I know my black behind better relax and be chill because they will put a bullet in my damn head. Some people don't know that and don't understand that and don't realize it.
Hey,
How many times you got arrested, Miss Tamara? No, I'm saying.
Not at liberty to say.
my take on the whole thing is it's crazy because they were so comfortable with doing this that they had to do it before. They just got caught this time. Straight up.
Man. Yes, I mean, I was trying to see if they have a history. I haven't found, as far as the Memphis police go, I couldn't find any past cases of police brutality. And I'm sure it's there, but nothing that's been reported or in the news that I could find.
Well, that's the whole thing. It probably wasn't reported.
Yeah.
They've been getting away with it.
Yeah. So we got 5 officers charged. And they're going to they was what they call released on a on recognizance. So they're booked or whatever, but
I think one's still in jail. 4 of them got released on bond.
Okay.
Or they up for bond.
Yeah.
Up for bond. I don't think they're not out. They're not out.
Okay. Well,
better not be. I'm
Well,
catching a flight out to Memphis, baby. Where they? No, I'm just kidding.
Your ass gonna get
I ain't gonna do shit. Hey, you know how black people? I ain't gonna do a damn thing.
Look, I'll say this. It's you have a person who's dead, and that's a tragedy. And how this is gonna play out, we're gonna see. But this is also a teachable lesson, not just teachable for the cops. I mean, we talk about you don't want them to be the new face of the Rodney King. Well, what this will be the new face of is it'll set a standard of how police should be dealt with. Because the fact of the matter is they jumped right on this. But a much more important issue is Walt talked about how some people are not, they don't have exposure to dealing with the police. Hey, you got to be thinking about your survival, okay? Don't be cutting up with the police talking about what they can't do, that whatever. If you think your rights are being violated, play along with it, survive, and then do something about it after the fact. But do it alive, because that's the reality. These police, they're just people, and a lot of them are scary, and they don't know what you're going to do. And if you start throwing them aggression, they're going to interpret it. It's just like a wild animal. I mean, the bottom line is give yourself your best chance to survive. Don't F with the police.
I disagree with that. And here's the reason why I disagree with that. They are paid employees of the city. Even cussing the police out is not illegal. If you tell the police F you, that is not illegal. So see, that message that we have to tell our children and people, like, you just be nice, because guess what? White folks don't do that. They don't do that. They gonna cuss police out. Like, my dad is a freaking judge. You better fucking chill out, man.
But
They do that type of stuff.
But they're gonna survive.
But hold on.
We ain't.
See, that's the black talk you doing right there. It should not be that way, sir. That's what I'm saying.
You're right.
It should not be that way.
But it is that way.
Wait, listen though. Right, we know that. But that's the problem. That is the problem. So I disagree with what you're saying. That's all this tactic. And not everybody gonna get that message and know that they need to relax when it's moving around the police, because they could put a bullet in your head and get away with it.
So wait a minute, Walt. So what Mr. Nice Guy is saying, that you should conduct yourself in a certain manner so you can survive.
You're a good boy.
And he's not saying that it's okay. He's saying this is what's going on. Your best case to survive. I know speaking with parents, they just want their children to make it home. If he got to be a good boy to make it home, that's all they want as far as the parents go. I don't want to be an old man. Yeah, my son, he had to ride on them cops, and he rest in peace. I want him to come home.
That's real.
Listen to him.
Not everybody,
like,
okay. Floyd X, not everybody gets that message. What Mr. Nice Guy and you are saying, and what I'm saying, this is stuff we already know because we grew up having to see and deal with cops and have heard the stories. There are people who are our complexion who have not even come in contact with the police, they get the message like, oh, the cops are our friends. They get that message, and that's what they see. So they just gonna fall into the lion's mouth.
So let
that's
me say
not
this.
fair.
So let me say
But
this. Let's say somebody's watching this show and this is their first time hearing that perspective of this, just comply. And you saying that we should give that message or a different message? Should we say, nah, F that, it shouldn't be this way, so talk your shit when you're around them cops? Which message should we convey here right now?
I'm conveying that they need some damn better policing and better training for the fucking police officers. That's the message I'm conveying. That's what needs to happen. That's the message that I'm conveying. Ain't no deflection, brother. That's the message I'm conveying. They need some better training for these raggedy ass, stinking ass, monkey ass, bitch ass cops.
I think the police department needs, one of the things that needs to be completely reinvented when it comes to policing is because as long as the police has existed, who wants to be a police officer? It's somebody who is an authoritarian, who wants to be the person who gets to tell people who is attracted to having authority. They want to, and you can speculate it's probably somebody who, has an inferiority complex, and that's why they want to be in charge, and they want this immediate power and this career that takes very, very little education and pays a lot of money, and I get to, I get to toss people around as much as I want to. So, like, who is that attracting? What type of person is that attracting to that career? I mean, you have to rebrand what policing is, so that that type of person is not trying to get into this position. That somebody who is more, more along the lines of like a social worker or something like that is drawn to the profession of policing. Like, I mean, there's just a small part of it. There's so much that needs to be changed. But the fact that, like, so many people in policing just want to, be dicks because that's what they're just drawn. They just have this ego, that the fragile ego where the tiniest little thing happens and they their temper goes through the roof, and it's things like that where those people, that type of person, that type of personality should not be allowed to have a badge.
That's a good point.
That was kind of more of an opinion though, because that's not all officers, of course, which we do know that and we can understand that. That's kind of an opinion, because that's how I look at police too. Like, they just got their ass beat in school, and now it's their time to get back at everybody, especially like guys like me and my brother, Mr. Floyd X, who is stealing their girlfriends. We get it, we understand that, but that's not all.
And I'm not saying that's everybody, but people who are in the police force, they tend to be more conservative. They tend to be more military, in favor of militarization. Like, they come from that mentality of authoritarian. I should be in charge. I'm not saying that's everybody, but it's largely who is attracted to the career of policing.
I kind of feel that, I say this all the time, I feel that police officers should be one of the most highest paid jobs. I think police officers should get like $80,000 or $100,000 a year to start off with. It's a dangerous job, and they do serve a purpose in the community, but it should be very fragile. Even this little slightest thing, you getting cut, and that's rap. You can't be a police nowhere else in the United States of America. It should be that way. If you shoot somebody that's unarmed, you will be fired, and that's a wrap. We gonna figure it out later, but you did lose your job. I think that should be one of the most highest paid jobs there are. They don't get paid that much. That's why they such buttholes. They don't. And then see people riding around looking good, fly, and they like, damn.
So you say they should get 80
real quick.
You said they should get 80 to 100,000 as far as police
Isn't that what they get?
Right now, it says the average salary is 68,000 a year. So they almost there.
For like 6 months of, to go through police academy, isn't it like 6 to 8 weeks of training? So it's like you have no background is required other than going through police academy for like 6 weeks. Yeah. And then you make, almost $70,000. So that's pretty good for requiring pretty much nothing to make a salary like that.
Well, they should get fired if they make a mistake. One mistake, that's a wrap.
According to Indeed.com, The starting salary of a police officer is $31,000.
Thank you.
Where?
Yeah.
Where? In Los Angeles County? 'Cause, I mean,
California. It says California.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
That's
Well,
tough.
That's not much. Yeah, that's not much.
Thank you.
That is tough.
That make you want to beat somebody.
one of the
makes you
things,
want to
the other things that need, there's so many things need to be, rebuilt within policing. But when it comes to shootings, as far as I understand, like shooting is incentivized. Like you get rewarded the more shots you've fired as a police officer.
Where you hear that at?
Oh,
Where's that
yeah.
from?
I don't know.
I've never
Come
heard
on,
that.
I'm coming on here.
I'm getting that from the city councilman, Marquise Harris Dawson. He was saying that one of the things that needs to change is you should not, if you've shot someone 3 times, you should not be on like patrol where like you're armed patrol anymore, because at that time, whether they were warranted or not, that gives you personal trauma. That gives you whether a person should not be put in a position to have to kill another human being that many times. But he was saying that the way policing is right now, that you get like he went to like a ceremony where policemen were like, they were awarded like a special medal if they had shot a number of times. And he was saying it should be the opposite, where the times you've de-escalated a situation, that's when you should be rewarded.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I've never heard
we can't allow that on the Focus Up show, Miss Sam Brown. Like this sounds like just like a myth or something, or even I got my own notions about the police officers, but I don't put it out here because it's my opinion. That sounds like somebody else's opinion that you heard about from the brother or the cousin or the sister or the nephew or the brother that lived down the street.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Let me look it up right now.
We ain't heard that before. We reject. We reject that deposit on the Focus Up show. What's up, Mister?
I do want to stress, like Walk was saying, that look, the police, they need the ultimate burden of responsibility of conducting business. They need absolute, accountability for all of their actions. It's a very tough job. It's a very dangerous job. But look, if you take on that job, you have to take on the responsibility that comes with it. You do not get a free pass to mess up when it costs lives. So yes, that's very important. But on the flip side, I'm telling you, to the people out there, survive. Don't go cutting up with the police. It's not going to serve your best interests. Okay. I'm not telling you to be all, yes, sir, a massa or stuff like that. I'm just saying that, look, you're going to be nervous. You know what I'm saying? The cops should never say, why are you nervous when they pull you over? Guess what? As a black person, I'm going to be nervous every single time a cop's pulls me over. And it's probably because there's going to be something in my car that I don't want him to find, but that's not even the point. The reality is that, you got to understand that there's a lot of nervousness on both sides. On their side, because they don't know what they're dealing with. On our side, just because we don't know, what type of day this cop is happening. So again, get in and out of the situation. Survive. What you got to say, brother?
I know for me, back in 2003, I think it was, I led the police on a slow speed chase because I wanted to get home safely. And this is a true story. I wanted to get home safely. And they had, they got their highlights on it. I thought it was just one cop behind me. By the time I pulled up to my house, it was 8 police cars behind me, and I didn't see none of them. And they drew their guns out, and they was ready to murder me right in front of my house. And I put my hands. I had on a big ass Pendleton coat. I put my hands up and did all the stuff they did. And then when they got up, you could feel the tension and stress when they threw me to the ground. But because I didn't give no resistance, then they started to calm down a bit. But they was ready to whip and beat me just because I let them. Didn't stop when they wanted me to. And that disobey, or what they consider to be disobeying, it provokes their ego. And they want to do damage and harm to you. Like if you watch this video with the Tyre Nichols, you see the cop, they holding them, and one of them is just swinging on them. And it's all out of anger. You know what I'm saying? It's all out of anger. And what the Mr. Nice Guy is trying to say, don't cause the anger. Because look, we talking about a brother, he's deceased now. Because he could be in the right 100% in the right. He was just, they had no reason pulling him over. And you could fuss and complain about it, but he's dead now. He's dead. You know what I'm saying? So the saying to comply, make it home safe. I agree with that information, that advice.
I agree with that 100%. But you got to follow the golden rule. The golden rule is the man that has the gun rules. That's true. Not only that,
real talk. That's a real talk.
And check this out too. Don't this remind you of remember Ice Cube Steady Mobbing, that little intro part?
Yeah.
Where he had the police talking and everything. We're gonna do you like King. What King? Rodney King, Martin Luther King, and all those other kings and that. Let me have him. Let me get at him. It was, man, it looks just like that. Man, it was sad.
Man, it's crazy, man. But that's where we at, man. We know that these police do abuse that power at times where they feel it necessary to whip on and pull out them batons and the choking. They still do the choking. You just don't see it as much. And they abuse. They abuse. I've been abused by cops before. And I was talking and taunting, and this was back in my younger days, the 90s, but I've been abused by cops where they stepped all over my the back of my calves while I was handcuffed on my knees. And they human.
Was that in New Orleans?
It was in New Orleans. Yep. They're human.
Hey, I remember a time where, I don't know if you remember, when we was in that arcade, me, you, and Donald, and the police just came up. They were trying to search it. We resisted. Once slapped me in the damn mouth, and they just went bananas because we was resisting. Like, what you searching us for?
Yeah. Yep.
And the two black cops. So I think it's really more or less the badge. It's just a power trip. It's a search.
Yeah, and you gotta also remember this too. What did that man do? He kept saying, "What did I do? I didn't do anything." Yeah. So he wasn't resisting. He didn't know what was going on. So when he ran, hey, I don't have nothing against him running, because I probably would have ran the same situation. It's like y'all trying to Rodney King me, y'all trying to George Floyd me, y'all trying to get me out here. And man, he ran. I mean, he ran for anybody would have ran that situation.
All right, look like we got a special guest coming up real quick. Let's see if what he has to say about the topic. Welcome to the show, Mr. Tony Duncan.
What's up with it? What's up, folks? How's everything going?
Hey, what's happening, brother?
Top of the morning.
We barely could see you, which might be a plus, but
yeah, he was on the witness program. He don't want to talk about no cops. He's like, I don't want to be seen.
Got the black silhouette going on, huh?
Now that we see you, you should get back in the dark.
Go ahead. What's up, Mr. Tony?
We got jokes around here.
What do you want to say on the topic? What do you want to say on the topic? We talking about the Tyre Nichols and the Memphis PD.
Well, killing is always wrong. Period. 100%. However, if you notice how they want to convict the black police officers with no issue, but when it comes to the Caucasians or other ethnicities, we got to fight hard just to get a guilty plea. I don't get that.
I think I would like to believe that what the Memphis PD is attempting to do is set a precedence and set an example of how swift the justice system's supposed to move in the eye or when witnessing wrongdoing. I would like to believe that they are setting the precedence, and I'm glad. It's okay. It's good that it's a black lady who is the chief of police and that she's taking these actions along with the mayor of the city. They took these actions, and I think they saw a crime being committed and they acted on it. So hopefully this will set a precedence.
I agree with that, but you already know it's much easier and simpler for them to convict us than to convict another ethnicity. So when it comes to justice or fair justice, there is justice, but we always have to be the ones at the short end of the stick, no matter what. What they did was wrong, 100%. And yes, she's actually doing what she's supposed to do because that's what the law says. But when it comes to the law for other ethnicities, we have to fight, we have to crawl, we have to do all these things. And like I said, I'm not against or for. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And what she did was she saw the law, she applied it, they was wrong completely.
Yep.
Now the only thing is when you say she's setting a precedent on doing that, but our laws is not the same as the other laws, the other ethnicities. That's the only thing I'm saying about this.
We'll
see how this plays out. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. It's two set of rules. It's two set of rules. They got the
all day,
all day. Folks, then they got for the others. Straight up. That's just what it is. And we all grew up like that. So it shouldn't be like that. But that is just how it is.
No, it shouldn't be whatsoever. None. The law is the law. The word is the word. You know what I mean? So when it comes to applying it, now they get to pick and choose on who they want to do it with. If you notice that we're the only culture that accept everyone's forgiveness, but we're the only culture that's been stabbed in the back from everybody.
And we're the only ones. And we're the only ones that's always being told protest peacefully.
Exactly. So when it comes to showing that they're following the rules, that's a given.
We got black cops showing out for the black cop, whipping on the black man. That's what we witnessed. Black on black crime at its highest level.
Right, but the thing is, you won't see that with the other ethnicities.
Have we ever witnessed a white person getting abused by the cops? Is there any record or thing that comes to mind when we see a bunch of white cops beating on a white man?
Oh, I'm sure it's happened, but it's a good point.
Yeah. Wait. It happened in, I think it was Anaheim, Irvine, with it was a little white dude. He was like maybe 135 pounds. And they basically crushed him. They basically crushed him. I think his last name was Kelly. His last name was Kelly, little white guy.
Oh, the homeless guy.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was calling for his mother too. I remember that situation. Yeah.
They basically crushed him. Damn.
Man.
Yeah. So it's the badge. It's the badge.
Yep. The badge it is.
So that's the only thing I'm saying. I agree with everything you're saying because this is the law. But if you notice, we still didn't get justice. We still didn't get justice because they're quick to slam us 100% with no issues.
In what situation you talking about? We still didn't get justice.
Any like say for example, the killing of the men
George
that
Floyd.
were just killed by all black cops. 9 out of 10, you already knew they was going to be found guilty. But
that's justice, though, right?
Wait, hold on. Wait, watch this. It's just like the black cop that shot the white lady in the alley. I forgot what city they were. They convicted his, but he got like 12 years.
100%.
Justice.
That was no. I understand that was justice, but that was swift.
Okay.
However, let another Caucasian kill a black person.
The white lady.
Let's
killed
call it the way it is.
The white lady that killed the dude in his own house.
You see how
she got justice, right?
2 years.
You see how long it took?
No, she didn't get only 2 years.
10.
You see how long it took? You see how long it took? That's all I'm saying. If it's going to be swift for us, let it be swift for them too. That's all I'm saying. So when you say that we got justice, yes, we got justice. We already know we're gonna get justice. Whatever crime we do, we're gonna get hit with. We're gonna get hit with no Vaseline. We just getting stabbed with it. But let another ethnicity do something to us, we have to climb mountains and go in the valleys just to get some type of conviction. Right. And then even then with that conviction is only short term.
All right, we got another guest that we like to bring to the show. Let's welcome back the Mad Lope, who has today is going by. I guess today he's going by Biff Bartholomew Winkelheim. Welcome to the show, Biff. How you doing today, brother?
Shy with it. Shy.
Top of the morning. Top of the morning.
All right. What's your take on this whole this Tyre Nichols situation, brother?
No, you know what? I don't know nothing about one listening, so I don't know. I'll probably have to look it up real quick.
Okay.
The
So I'm just
brother
listening.
who got killed, man. The brother who got shot. Got beat down.
That's the easy take. I'm mad. Okay.
Good take.
What other take would you have?
Yeah.
Word.
Oh, any black person of color, person that has melanin, that has any other feeling about it other than anger and being upset, then we have to question that. You know what I mean? What would you expect somebody to say? Well, I think that nah, I mean, I'm mad. I don't want to see none of my people go like that. I don't give a fuck. I don't give if he's wrong or whatever happened.
Let me ask you this, brother. Me knowing you personally, know that you had a situation, you had a very close relative who was murdered by the cops, right?
Right.
In your opinion, we was talking about interacting with the police. We know that it's wrong, that the things that they do, but as far as making it home safe, in your opinion, what advice would you give to a young black male interacting with police? Should he comply or should he raise hell?
Raise hell in a public situation. It depends on what you define raising hell as.
Like
knowing you're writing. Go ahead.
They pull you over, get out the car, and they being aggressive to you. They throw you down to the ground, put handcuffs on you, and every time you speak or you say something like, "What the F y'all doing?" They smack you over your head.
Hold your peace. Hold your peace.
If they already handcuffs and slam you down on the ground, then you ready
done.
You know, you got to hold your peace on that. You know what I mean? You got. That's the thing. What's going on now? Everyone always want to bigger and better back at the police. Keep your mouth shut. You'll win in a later day. You feel me? But in those instances, keep your mouth shut and just comply. And then after that, do what you have to do. But you must comply. Keep your mouth shut unless you don't want to live.
Yeah, the bottom line to make it home safely.
That's it. That's it. And don't even try to go back and say the laws to them. Well, hell, they are the law. They're enforcing the law.
Yeah.
And
Let me say it one more time.
You advertise the law to them. You feel me?
Yeah. Not to cut you off though, bro, but I want to say one more time. Don't argue with the man with the gun.
That's right. Real talk.
You ain't
Y'all
gonna
giving
win.
that advice. I feel that we all passionate about that, and you guys are right. But I'm telling you, there are people who never heard this message. They don't get this message from their parents, and won't receive this message from us or anybody else. So it's okay if they get their news knocked out.
No, it's not okay.
They end up
Not
like
okay.
that.
It's not okay.
Like that. Like this guy. Come on, man.
You can't save everybody though.
He was right down the street from his house, 3 houses down where he lost his life. 3 houses down. He was trying to make it home. That this society and how this narrative that's going on, it shouldn't be like that, but that's just how it is. I'm not telling I tell my sons, man, watch out for them cops. I don't tell them look out for these knuckleheads with pistols running around the street. I tell them be careful of them cops out there. It's Friday night, son. Be careful. You know them cops out there. That's what I tell them to look out for. Now, I'm giving that message because I'm a black man. I had clean interactions with the police, and I was guilty every time. But that's neither here nor there. But the harassment is real.
All right. I think
I had a question.
Go ahead, brother.
Do you think, and this is just a question, do you think that black people being harassed by the police is such a so-called buzzword or in thing that, oh, police harass me? Do you think that there are some black people that are taking that the police doing their actual job is as harassment, and they just trying to jump on that line of, I understand too. I get harassed too. You know what I'm talking about?
I think there are situations where it is exaggerated, and
Right.
people not actually being harassed, but they just hooping and hollering, complaining just to be complaining.
He told me to move my car out the red.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point, because that was one thing I wanted to talk about. It's like once the cops pulls you over, you say, well, what am I, whatever, and they're like, they're you say, what are you pulling me over for? Well, they're taught to, when they first come to a situation, they need to control it. So that's why they'll be like, look, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this first. And you're still like, well, I need to answer to my thing first. It's basically a hostile situation. So they're trying to control the situation. And these things are colliding, and this is the problem. So I mean, that's why a lot of that when you're saying that he didn't commit any crime, he actually committed a few crimes once it started, because he was resisting arrest, because he was not, it's an issue. But I'm not trying to blame him. You know what I'm saying? The blame, he died because they killed him. I have to focus it. He died because they killed him, and they killed him because they went beyond what they should have done. But the reality is this: if we could tell that brother, hey, you got two alternatives. You do exactly what you did, and you die, or you don't buck up on them. You just let them go. You let the process play out, and you survive. What would have been the better alternative for you?
That's obvious, bro. That's obvious.
Well, I'm just telling you. That's what I'm saying.
Where you at, Tamara Brown?
Because that's the thing we can't control. We can't control what the police can do, but we can control what we can do. And the fact of the matter is that everybody else not going to listen about how to conduct yourself with the police. You can't save everybody, but who you can save, who's ever going to think about it and be like, yeah, you know what? It don't serve my best interest to be sitting there, setting off this dude with this gun. Go ahead, brother.
Just my simple take on that, sir. You said that when the police pull you over, and you asked, hey, officer, why did you pull me over? You use the word that's becoming hostile. Asking a question is not being hostile. That is a public servant, a peace officer, and he must, even if he doesn't do it right off the bat, tell you. You can ask, hey, what am I being pulled over for? He can say, you know what, hold on, I'm going to get that information to you right now. But that's not being hostile. Then you said, if you ask a question and you ask him again, that's resisting arrest. That's not a resisting arrest, because there's a difference between being arrested and being detained. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you got to really, and that goes to put some type of confirmation on. Do some people feel that they being harassed when they're really not? They're just, hey, bro, what did you pull me over for? I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that information to you right now, sir. Could you just pull over where it's a safe area? All right, no problem. And when he comes to the car, you got your license, registration. Hey, again, what you pull me over for? And then that's when you can say, am I being arrested or detained? Oh, you're just being detained as I do a field investigation because I pulled you over so and so. Oh, okay. Then that's when you roll your window down just enough so you can slide your shit out. You ain't got to do all that other extra shit. You know what I mean? And me personally, when I be going for my license stuff, I say, hey, I'm taking my left hand and I'm reaching over to my glove compartment. They be like, you ain't got to do all that. Yeah, I do got to do all that.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Exactly. And it's no question. They need to look. They're human beings and we're human beings. So we grown-ups. When the police talks to me recklessly, it set me off too. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, I'm a grown-ass man. You sitting there talking to me like I'm a kid. It's gonna be a problem. But again, like you said, I'm going to be smart about it. Normally when I get pulled over, I get all of my stuff in advance. So when he comes up, my stuff is already in my hand. So I'm not reaching for nothing.
Go ahead, Mr. Tony.
I hear everyone's issues. I do. At the same time, you have to ask yourself, once you get pulled over by the police, am I going to humble myself or am I going to be a questionnaire? That's the question that you have to ask yourself.
I have a question. I have a question for Miss Tamara. Have you ever been harassed by the police?
I mean, nowhere near, what you all go through, but the reason I have opinions about police's ego is that is that any little thing that any interaction I've ever had with the police, they have been unnecessarily just like I can remember as a kid when my mom would be pulled over for like a traffic violation, and as soon as they come up to the window, they're immediately like, barking orders at you. And I remember saying, like, why is he so angry? And she's just like, that's just what they do. Like, there's just like an authoritarian attitude that either people who go into policing already have, or it's encouraged and taught within, going up through the ranks and policing. And it's that type of, attitude that quickly escalates situations. And so I just want to ask, every single year, any politician that tries to, increase the police, the police budget increases every year anyway. But whenever they allot extra funding to police, they're always like, oh, it's for training. We're doing, race training, racial interaction training, and it never works. Nothing changes. So I want to ask all of you, what are some changes in policing that you would like to see that you think might actually be effective?
Well, we know the body cam ain't doing shit because they still beating black people ass with body cams or not, and they just hand them over
for it, so it's good.
And they hand them over and go about their business after they whip on them. So I mean, I haven't seen any improvement, anything decrease since the George Floyd. They still killing black folks.
And keep in mind now, once you see that on body camera and they go back in and write up their report, they already know the certain words to say to cover themselves. So two different laws, but it's the same law.
Okay, go ahead, Mr.
Go ahead.
I had a quick question. Was on my mind since you had mentioned it. First off, I want to say to Tamara, you probably want to look up the defund the police movement. Which is diverting funds from the police. Mm-hmm. I went to the state capitol and I spoke on Senate Bill SB 731 for the time done movement. We've also I did legislative visits and spoke to different senators about the California no bail law. And they're going to eradicate bail here in the state of California because that's a racist system that's going on here in California. There's 2 other states in the union that don't have a bail system, and we want California to be another one. When I was speaking for that and advocating for that law to be passed, I was up there battling with Dog the Bounty Hunter. They brought their big guns out to the state capitol, but you know what? Ain't no fear. So speaking of no fear, I wanted to go back to my brother that said, when you get pulled over by the police, do you he said, do you humble yourself, or you said what else? You had a choice between humble
questionnaire. Questioning.
Huh?
Are you going to be a questionnaire?
So do you humble yourself, or do you remain a black man during that stop? And you can be humble black, but still have strength, brother.
You will always be black, yes.
Not in color, not in melanin, but mindset, brother. You can still be a strong black male without bowing down and cowering down to some Caucasians or any type of law enforcement, brother.
That's not cowering down at all.
Then what's your definition of do you humble yourself?
Right. Do you humble yourself?
A couple of my brother right there, with the hat on. Yeah. My brother said, hey, I'm gonna stand up, man. We gotta stand up. We got, when you stand up and assert yourself, they respect somebody being a man. They want us to be emasculated. It's a movie called Buck Breaking that you probably want to see. They want to emasculate us. That's why what they call black people boy and little, and that's why you got these little babies and little this, little that, because they emasculated. You stand up, brother. Hey, what'd you pull me over for? Hey, could you step out the car? No, sir.
Right. There's a certain way that you ask that question. That's what I mean by humbling yourself.
Could you give us an example on how you would ask it?
Okay. Why are you pulling me over, officer? I didn't do nothing wrong.
In that same tone?
In that tone, yes. Now you have a person that's questionnaire, whereas why in the fuck you batting? Come on, man, just calm down. They're doing their job as well. That's all I'm saying.
So you took it to the extreme when you said, somebody said, why the fuck you putting on? I'm gonna talk to you like a grown man and say, why you pull me over?
Exactly. Exactly. That you can say that. That's humbling
Oh,
yourself.
so your definition of humbling yourself is not being agitated and turned up when the police interact. That's humbling yourself. Oh, I just wanted to do a clear definition on that, because for a minute I thought you was talking some Steven from Django stuff. Okay, my bad. I apologize.
No.
He thought you was a broken buck, Spag.
No, partner, not here. No.
And you can communicate what you got to communicate without being all extra. I mean, that's the reality.
Exactly.
And they
Right.
respond to it the same way.
Wait. Let's hear what Miss Brown has to say. If you have anything to say on this subject.
I was going to ask, would you agree that traffic cops, policemen who are just working for in traffic violations should not be armed?
Hell no.
Everybody should be armed. I live in Compton.
Traffic cops should be armed.
Wait. I live in Compton.
They better be.
So everybody is what they call it, a deputy sheriff. So the people that pass out the tickets got guns. You know what I'm saying? They are the person that the receptionist at the sheriff's got guns. Everybody's a deputy is whatever. So nah.
Yeah.
It's okay to have guns.
In Compton, the mailman has a gun.
He better. And that's everywhere though. But hey, that's everywhere though. Everybody. That's how, like we talked about this last week with the guy in the damn grocery store. You better have a burner up on you, because people's crazy out here. But I feel if you an authority, like I said earlier, I feel police should make at least $100,000 a year. But they job, if you make one mistake, you fired. That's a wrap. You can't be a police nowhere else on planet Earth. And that's going to bring better cops to the table. I think that'll bring better cops, because they do have a power trip mentality where they are judge, jury, and executioner out there on them streets. They are. So it should be, they got to get paid like that. Most
of them do make upwards to 80 to 100,000 a year. Why? How so? They have a base pay, but then the extra work that they do off duty, doing security and whatnot, and doing overtime. I know in the city of Richmond, because I work in this field, I work in gun violence reduction with Advanced Peace. Quick plug. But in the city of Richmond, the officers they come in and work in the city of Richmond. They're making $70,000 to $80,000 a year, but the overtime pushing them over $120,000 a year. And they're still asking for monies and funding and the crime is not going down. But then you have a program, a fellowship like Advanced Peace, when they have credible messengers that go out into these communities, and we'll be in Pomona soon, go into these communities and talk to some of these players, these shooters, not the wannabe gang members, not the wannabe people, but the people that's actually shooting and dissuade and get some of those shootings and some of those murders down just by also talking. So each murder here in the city of Stockton in San Joaquin County, each murder, when you add it all up, the police, the detectives, the crime scene workers, the hospital, the judges, the DAs, the whole thing, each homicide in Stockton, California comes out to 3.5 million. Each shooting comes out to 2 million. Just somebody being shot when you add up all the costs. So you have police department with a $90 million budget, and still the crime is going up. But then you have a program like Advanced Peace and other programs like that in LA, where OG Smokestack talked to Lil Kiki and John and persuade them not to kill each other. He just saved the city $3.5 million. So where should the funding go? So you go out to Jaywalk, go out to the neighborhood and squash two beefs. You just saved the city $70 million. So how much should you be getting paid?
I need that 3.5.
Yeah, wait for that.
So that was my quick plug for
wait. Mr. I'm gonna call you the Mad Loc. I like the Mad Loc. The Mad Loc. Listen,
Man,
Mad
you
Loc.
call him Mr. Winkleheimer.
But check this out. You did touch on a very interesting point, because you live up in the area. The police do make a lot more, because the cost of living is so freaking outrageous up in that San Francisco, Richmond, all that area. That's a lot of money. And with that overtime, these cops be milking that.
Yeah.
They milk that. Christopher Dorner, remember that American hero, Christopher Dorner. He had he made us in his manifesto. He spoke on that how one shift to the other they will milk a whole crime scene, leave your loved one on the damn floor for 12 hours just so the next shift can get that overtime as well. And it's like hazard duty when you at a crime scene or something like that. Man, these cops are so up in this.
Yeah.
Man.
And I go back to when the thing I said before about the police shooting. I just want to say I was looking up. I found an article about police shooting statistics, and so one thing that it said is that police officers who have shot their guns in the field are more likely to be more brutal. Here, let me read it. Sorry, one second. Where'd it go?
This ain't no research show. No.
Those who have fired a weapon on duty and those who haven't. Okay. Anyway, it was just saying that police who have fired their weapon on duty are more likely to, they're more in favor of brutal tactics. They're
more aggressive,
likely to approve of harsh physical methods of dealing with some people. And so it was that statistic that I heard, that I remember the councilman Harris Dawson was commenting on, saying that, like, you know, once an officer has had to fire their weapon in the field, they should be taken off the duty where they're out in the field like that, because of that type of statistic. Because
they're more aggressive.
The more you fire your weapon, the more aggressive you become.
Yeah.
I think the more you fire your weapon and get away with it, the more aggressive you come. The more you beat somebody's ass and get away with it, the more aggressive you gonna come. Because that's like getting bullied. You bully this one person, you keep on, you're gonna keep slapping up beside the head till somebody kick your ass. I'm telling you, they should be getting fired right away. Oh, you did what? We got 2 complaints about you. Get one more, you get fired. Oh, you shot an unarmed cop. You shot an unarmed man. Well, we don't know what the circumstances are, but you fired.
Period.
You figure it out.
Period. Get them off. Yeah. Period.
Yeah. You made a mistake. So we can't have that. That's one of them jobs where you can't make a damn mistake.
Accountability.
I got a question. Where's Kamala Harris ass at? Why she ain't down there in Memphis?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the hell she do.
She don't know what she do. Biden don't know what she do.
Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe. What's up? Hey, you know what? We didn't do shout outs this week. We came to the end of this show. We come to this is yo.
Hey, throw your shout
great
outs
show. Salute. No shout outs. And we doing a new thing. If you ain't been on the show, you ain't getting shouted out.
Man, you take a few minutes to give a shout out.
No, I ain't no shout outs this week. I want to thank Tamara Brown for coming on. Salute to you. We gonna get to Karen Bass.
I didn't answer the question.
We gonna get to it. But hold on. Hey, that's a wrap of the show.
I didn't answer the question. This show ain't that.
Yeah. But salute to the Mad Loke, and salute to my boy Spade for popping in. To Tony Duncan, salute. Focus up. Like, subscribe, and hit the notifications so you'll know when we coming on. And this is streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. Fuck with it.
Hey Floyd, so I if you still like, we're still going. Hey, so you had your finger up. You want to say something real quick, brother, while the live is still going?
Yeah, man. The answer that the brother Kamala Harris is a token Negro.
Ouch.